Trevs Hockey Show. I'm a Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, continue on with my division prediction, review, reaction, video kind of thing. And we're going over the Central Division. And boy, let me tell you, that 1-2 spot, oh, that was exciting. Not being decided until the final day of the regular season and making a world of difference as far as the playoff picture is concerned. But either way, for better or worse, here's my picks, or at least how I picked them out to be. I'm going to compare them to what actually happened, and I'm going to give my thoughts on to why I picked who to pick, where I picked them to go. Either way, let's talk about it. So if you want to check out my Central Division prediction, go right here, follow the link, or just stick around for about 30 seconds and I'll let you know how my picks went. They went a little something like this, going from worst to first. I picked Arizona to finish last in the division and last in the league for painfully obvious reasons. I picked Chicago to finish 7th because, I mean, really, there was a toss-up between 7th or 8th. You could never go wrong with either answer, I would think. I picked the Jets to finish 6th because I thought, well, I'll get into it, but either way, I picked the Jets to finish 6th. I figured they were just running out of gas. I picked Nashville to finish 5th. And if I remember right, when I was writing the video for the initial predictions, I was tossed up between 5th and 7th between Nashville. I picked Dallas to finish 4th. I would have definitely thought wildcard for sure at the beginning of the season. I picked St. Louis to finish 3rd. Oy, what a mess that was. I picked Minnesota to finish 2nd. Really, I mean, picking Minnesota to go anywhere in the top 3 is a chore in itself because you don't think of Minnesota as finishing anywhere outside the top 3. And then I picked your defending Stanley Cup champs to win the division because really, who else would win the division, right? I mean, right? And here's how said season turned out. Chicago ended up finishing 8th. With Arizona doing only slightly better than them. And St. Louis not even in the playoff picture. Nashville in 5th. So I got one right. Winnipeg getting the wild card. Minnesota in the top 3. Dallas posing an incredible threat to Colorado. Separated by 1 point on the final day of the season. That's pretty awesome. So, in terms of success rate, I got 2 right on this one. This is probably the best division I predicted this season. Yeah, I can say that confidently. Trust me. Follow this. Follow the other 2. You'll see. So let's talk about it. So Chicago finished 8th, and I picked them to finish 7th. They also finished 31st in the league, or 30th, sorry, in a league of 32. So, yeah, the Kane Taves era is over. Kane was traded. Taves isn't getting re-signed. Who knows if Taves is even playing anymore beyond this point, but Chicago's in for some huge hiccups in the next year or 2. No one ever said a rebuild from scratch is going to be easy, and I mean, I don't know if you believe in luck. Maybe they'll get lucky and win that first overall pick in the draft lottery, but I have my doubts. So Arizona finished in 7th, and I had them going in 8th. I had them being 32 in a league of 32. Where do you begin? Really, I mean, is this team even hoping to be successful at any point? Because if the answer is no, that doesn't bode well for, trying to get a new arena. If that headache ever gets itself solved out. All we can do is just watch at this point and laugh. I don't really know when things are ever going to decide to change in Arizona. So picking them to finish anywhere, not name 6, 7, or 8, is a hard thing to do with a straight face. I'm sorry, but they do have some things to look up to. I mean, Clayton Keller is still the man in Arizona. So there's that. And if they just happen to build smartly around that, they could go places. But you didn't hear that from me. St. Louis finished 6th. I picked him at 3rd. Now, they finally traded Tarasenko. Finally. Sure, it's only for rental status, but they finally traded him. They finally granted his trade request. And then they traded O'Reilly. But the instant you knew Tarasenko was traded, you knew that they weren't making the playoffs. But at the same time, who knew that Binnington was just going to implode? And instead of just concentrating on winning games, concentrate more on who he was picking a fight with. Either way, I mean, I think there's some wholesale changes coming in St. Louis. It already started well before the trade deadline. But it'll be a different looking St. Louis Blues team, I think, for the 23-24 season. So one of the two that I got right in this division. Nashville finished 5th. And oh my, they're in a huge state of flux right now. They're the only GM the team's ever known is gone, or is gone as the GM. He'll be sticking around in an advisory role or something. And now this is Barry Trotz's team. And where does a lot of the places, or a lot of the pieces in this place, go from this point? Do they stick with the same voice guiding the locker room? Who gets traded? You know, these are legit questions that one has to ask. And I mean, with 3 big contracts staring you in the face in Forsberg, Johansson, and Duchesne, which piece of that cog is getting shipped out for pieces that'll work? Because, I mean, those 3 guys alone should be guaranteeing you some kind of success rate beyond what they're playing. And I mean, yeah, they were eliminated in the last week of the season, but they should have been a threat all the way. But on a positive note, Saros is going to start looking good. It's just a matter of the team in front of them for next season can complement that. Winnipeg clinched the wild card at fourth spot in the division, and I had them finishing 6th. As I said in the beginning, I thought they were running out of gas. I thought some of the key pieces, the Wheelers, the Scheifeleys, were going to start slowing down. Connor was never going to slow down. Hellebuck, who knows? But I thought, especially with Bonus behind the bench, I thought these pieces were just going to start to just grind to a halt at some point. But they clinched in the last week of the season. So if it wasn't them, it would have been Nashville. You should look at it that way. As I said in the season, though, when I was watching them play on TV, they were 1 major losing streak away from missing the playoffs. And I think that if it weren't for the fact that Nashville and Calgary were doing them the favors so that they would get in and they wouldn't, you could have seen it. But it is what it is, and you know, good on them to at least make the playoffs when a lot of people, I'm sure, weren't expecting them to. So Minnesota finished 3rd. I had them finishing 2nd. And as I said, it's hard to picture them anywhere outside the top 3, especially at this point with Kaprizov, with Spurgeon, with Eriksson Ek, with Fleury finding a resurgence in the net. They came out strong. They came out hard, and I mean, if they were in any other division, it would have been a very, very hard time to keep them down. And it'll be interesting to see them in the playoffs, because it's always interesting to see Minnesota in the playoffs. They're a thorn in anybody's side, doesn't matter who they're playing. But either way, things are going to look promising in the future. I guarantee it. If they can keep Fleury for another season, if his body can hold out for at least 1 more season, could be a great run for them. But that's probably counting chickens. Dallas Stars finished second. I had them finishing fourth. Jason Robertson, the kid is fire. And Jake Ottinger in net. Oh, these guys are set. These guys are set. All they need is the right pieces. And they'll be making all kinds of noise within a couple years. I guarantee it. I mean, Robertson's only entering the league. This is only his second or third year. And he's already getting 100 points. So watch this kid in the future. Playoff-wise, oh, the fact that they're going against Minnesota, it's going to be a tough series. I'll give my thoughts on that when I drop my playoff prediction videos. But it was fun to watch Dallas going into the last week. But 1 point, if Colorado would have lost 1 point or one game, the Central would have been theirs. And the other one that I got right, the Colorado Avalanche. No Landeskog, no problem. McKinnon got his 100 points. Rantanen broke a team record with 55 goals. They really started to wake up, and the fact that they did it with injuries starting to come into play, especially with guys like Makar. They got it done. It wasn't pretty, but they got it done. It happened on the last game of the season, but they got it done. And now they get Seattle in the playoffs. I'll drop my thoughts on that when I do my playoff prediction video. Either way, it'd be exciting to see where they go in the playoffs from this point. No Landeskog. Makar's out indefinitely. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be fun to watch either way. So let me know how your division predictions did. And feel free to laugh at mine, even though this was probably my strongest division. Another one of Chess Hockey Shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you've made it to this point. And if you have, and you want to say hi, or you dig what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. I think I've earned it. That red button says subscribe all over it. Hit that thing. You don't even want to. It'll make you feel good. It'll get us closer to 250. So let's make that happen. That social that I never use, it's in the description down below. So I have 2 more divisions to do after this. And then I'm going to call it a night. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, you're looking for more videos from Trev. Later.